Does evil exist? The university professor challenged his students with this question. Did God create everything that exists? A student bravely replied, yes, he did. The professor answered, if God created everything, then God created evil since evil exists, and according to the principle that our works define who we are, then God is evil. The student became quiet before such an answer. The professor was quite pleased with himself and boasted to the students that he had proven once more that the Christian faith was a myth. Another student raised his hand and said, can I ask you a question, Professor? The student stood up and asked, Professor, does cold exist? What kind of question is this? Of course it exists. Have you never been cold? The young man replied, in fact, sir, cold does not exist. According to the laws of physics, what we consider cold is in reality the absence of heat. We have created this word to describe how we feel if we have no heat. The student continued, Professor, does darkness exist? The professor responded, of course it does. The student replied, once again you are wrong, sir. Darkness does not exist either. Darkness is in reality the absence of light. A simple ray of light can break into a world of darkness and illuminate. Darkness is a term used by man to describe what happens when there is no light present. Finally, the young man asked the professor, sir, does evil exist? Now uncertain, the professor responded, of course, as I have already said. We see it every day. It is in the daily example of man's inhumanity to man. To this the student replied, evil does not exist, sir, or at least it does not exist unto itself. Evil is simply the absence of God. It is just like darkness and cold, a word that man has created to describe the absence of God. It's like the cold that comes when there is no heat or the darkness that comes when there is no light. The professor sat down. The young man's name is Albert Einstein.